Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. Fertilizer procurement scandal goes to court. Chinese investors cautioned against engaging in illegalities. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Did you know that Constituency Development Fund is a creation of the law? CDF was established by Article 162 of the Constitution of Zambia. Constituency Development Fund was first introduced in 1995 as a tool to facilitate the delivery of public developmental services like schools, health facilities, police posts, water, and sanitation points directly to the local communities. CDF is a mandate of the law and not a favor from the ruling government. For more information, visit our website on www.acazambia.org/CDF. Remember, CDF is your money. Take an active part on how it is used and managed. This message is brought to you by the Alliance for Community Action.
And now the media news in detail. Former Defense Minister Geoffrey Mwamba has asked the Economic Financial Crimes Court to be given time off to attend to his condition before it gets worse. Mr. Mwamba, who is facing 24 counts of corruption-related charges, made his application after the state asked for an adjournment.
The alleged corruption case involving former Defense Minister Geoffrey Mwamba has been adjourned to a further date, after his defense lawyers requested from the court that the accused be given a time off. Lead defense counsel Bonaventure Mtale has submitted that the outspoken opposition politician, Mr. Mwamba, is a hypertension patient and needs to attend to his condition before it worsens. This application was made after the state made their own application that the matter be adjourned to Friday, as the witnesses they had lined up this morning, the 21st of September 2022, were all done with their testimonies. Earlier, a state witness from Investrust Bank testified how she accompanied a supervisor at the Joint Investigation Team in March 2022, following summons they received from the investigative wings who wanted to acquire specific information. Tisha Mwema, a treasury at Investrust, has told the Lusaka's Magistrate Court under the Specialized Economic Financial Crimes Court that the information the investigation team were inquiring was in relation to a payment that was made in October 2020, amounting to $631,986 United States dollars. In this case, Mr. Mwemba of the Opposition Patriotic Front is facing 8 counts of conflict of interest, 1 count of money laundering, and 15 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, charges which he has denied before Magistrate Stanford Ngobola. Explaining to the court, the witness further testified that among other information she provided to the investigation team was that in October 2020, her colleagues in payment had circulated an inward payment which they had received, adding that thereafter she made a call to their client, Mr. Mwamba, inquiring on the said payment if he was converting any part of it to kwacha, adding that the accused later sent instruction via WhatsApp indicating that the monies received should be debited to James Motorways account and should be sent out to North Sweat in South Africa. However, in a cross-examination, Ms. Mwema explained that there was no suspicion criminal element on where the money was coming from and that the bank did not face any criminality with the accused, adding that the said transactions were legitimate. According to the charges the Anti-Corruption Commission have slapped the accused with, it is alleged from the 1st to the 8th count, during the time he was Defense Minister, failed to disclose interest in writing in relation to 8 contracts for the supply of shelter tents for the Zambia Army valued at more than $1 million United States dollars, military regalia valued at more than 1 million kwacha, and specialized waterman ship equipment for the Zambia Army valued at more than 4 million kwacha, which were awarded to Cozon Global Limited, and that the transaction affected the Ministry of Defense, among other charges. The matter comes up in October 2022. Miriam Kaimba, Reporting for Camnet TV News.
4 aggrieved fertilizer suppliers have sued the Zambia Public Procurement Authority and the Ministry of Agriculture in Lusaka High Court over the duo's decision to cancel a tender it awarded to them for supplying and delivering of Compound D and urea fertilizer for the 2022-2023 farming season.
In a twist of event, 4 aggrieved fertilizer suppliers whose tender was cancelled by the Zambia Public Procurement Authority, ZPPA, have rushed to the Lusaka High Court seeking a declaration that the said decision is illegal and unreasonable. Few days ago, the ZPPA cancelled the fertilizer tender which was recently awarded by the Ministry of Agriculture to Evergreen Fertilizer Limited, Seton Investment Limited, Samar Agro Investment Limited, and Concake Investment Limited after the process was flouted. The 4 who have commenced judicial review proceedings against ZPPA and the Ministry of Agriculture wants the court to quash the decision by the Procurement Committee, the Ministry of Agriculture, for terminating a tender granted to them to supply, delivery, warehousing and distributing of 259,992 metric tons of Compound D fertilizer for the 2022-2023 farming season, and has now embarked on a limited bidding or direct bidding procedure involving the unsuccessful bidders that applied the notice of the best evaluated bidders. They have submitted before court that in June 2022, the Ministry of Agriculture advertised and called for eligible bidders through an open national bidding process for the supply and delivery of Compound D fertilizer for the 2022 and 2023 farming season. And on the 19th of August 2022, the Ministry of Agriculture indicated that they won the said tender. States that on the 12th of September 2022, the defendants cancelled the said tender. They state that the decision of the Appeals Committee of the ZPPA Public Procurement Principles are set out in Regulation 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 and 15, as the appeal was determined on issues not raised by unsuccessful bidders and was heard without according them an opportunity to be heard before the cancellation, despite being the best evaluated bidders. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Transparency International Zambia has assured its relentless efforts in making sure that the political parties bill is passed, which when passed into law will see the promotion of transparency and accountability in political campaign financing. Addressing the media in Lusaka Wednesday, TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says the regulation in this regard will also be an important step towards enhancing integrity in Zambia's political process.
TIZ will continue to facilitate dialogue, consensus building amongst political players, as well as engaging relevant institutions in advocating for legislation. We are convinced that regulation of political party and campaign financing will be an important step towards enhancing integrity in our political processes and thereby contribute to a reduction of electoral corruption and just corruption in general. We therefore make an urgent call to all stakeholders, including you, our colleagues in the media, not to relent in this regard, but to ensure that the quest to enhance the integrity of our political processes remains alive in public discourse until legislation to that effect is enacted.
Our concern, of course, like it has been highlighted, is that when we do not know where these political parties are accessing their funds, of course, we open up the country in terms of auctioning it to people that have got money. And when we auction it, there are dangers that come with that. One of the dangers is that these people, when they put in their monies, they will definitely require to recoup their money at some particular point in time. So let's say, for example, if UPND was funded by dirty money from different people or corporations that we are not aware of, do you think those corporations will not reclaim their money? They will definitely reclaim their money. And what will happen now is that they will influence policies And this is how now grand corruption penetrates in our economy. So you find that the policies that are going to be set, for example, will favor those people that put their money into campaigns.
In other news, Chinese ambassador to Zambia, Jiu Xiaowei, has warned that Chinese embassy will not shield any Chinese national or company getting involved in illegal activities while in Zambia. The Chinese envoy says there seems to be more negative news about Chinese companies because of the large proportion of China's investment in Zambia.
Hardly a month passes by without a report of a Chinese national being entangled in labor dispute, a situation that has left many wondering why such cases have continued to repeat themselves at the watch of the authorities. Chinese ambassador to Zambia, Dun Xiao, however, says there seems to be more negative news about Chinese companies because of the large proportion of Chinese investment into Zambia. The ambassador, who spoke at the press briefing in Lusaka ahead of the China-Zambia Trade and Investment Forum, which will take place from the 28th of September to the 29th of September 2022, has since warned that the Chinese embassy will not shield any Chinese company or national who behaves illegally while in Zambia.
There seems to be negative news about Chinese companies because of the large proportion of China's investments. We want to take three approaches to solve the problem. First, upscale the quality investment and make the pie bigger. Second, the Chinese government and I will communicate with Chinese companies regularly, requesting them to follow Chinese law and Zambia laws. Third, the embassy will not shield any Chinese company or national who behaves illegally.
The ambassador further says the forum will provide an opportunity for Zambia and China to cement its relationship and says the debt situation should not stall China-Zambia bilateral cooperation.
The debt issue should not stall China-Zambia bilateral cooperation. The essence of the debt problem is to get initial capital for development. And the key to solve the debt problem is development, which demands investment and economic increase.
Meanwhile, Acting Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Elias Mubanga has emphasized the need for skill transfer even as investors come into Zambia.
It is our firm belief that domestic and foreign direct investment can bring into the country the much needed capital, technology and transfer of skills. That's very important. Yes, we want to make sure that our Zambian business community get involved. But we are encouraging as government that we need to partner. Partnership is key to receive the transfer of technology.
And the Zambia Development Agency ZDA Acting Director General, who was represented by Jessica Chembo, says the Zambia-China Expo will help strengthen the bilateral agreement that exists between the two countries.
These events are being held today, therefore provides a valuable platform for our potential Zambian and Chinese business community to optimize available opportunities in trade and investment in order to contribute to the economic development of both Zambia and China.
Nearly 200 Chinese enterprises have officially signed up for the forum, and the embassy has also invited about 10 Chinese Fortune 500 enterprises such as BYD, Xinjiang Mining and CMOC to attend the forum online. Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Media News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Fertilizer procurement scandal goes to court. Chinese investors cautioned against engaging in illegalities. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.